This class will focus on strategy implementation. Now, to start, we need an integrated structure. That means there should be direct contact between managers across functions or divisions. In other words, the marketing manager should speak to the R&D manager, who should speak to the accounts manager, they should all speak to each other, and they should all be aware of the issues and problems that each has got. And they should all, most importantly, be aiming at the overall objective of the business. There could be a situation where a liaison role is desired. In other words, give one manager in each function or division the responsibility of coordinating with the other teams. So they liaise, they speak to each other, and they have regular meetings, and they understand the issues in each department, and they work more effectively as a team as a consequence, and they're more integrated and more focused on the overall objective of the business. So let's look at the strategic control systems. First of all, the idea is to control the business and to achieve efficiency. That's the purpose of the control system, to ensure that it is working effectively, aiming at the overall objective of the business, the overall goal as set out in the strategy which has been agreed, let's say, and it's doing this in an efficient format so that all of the business is moving along, advancing onto the goal that's been set, and they're doing this in an efficient manner. But it's also taking into account the quality of the product and the reputation of the business in terms of its image in the marketplace. The quality and its importance in satisfying customers' wants or customers' needs is extremely important, and the quality must be maintained and improved at every juncture. So the quality is the cornerstone of the business. The quality of the product is what the customer, the final customer, may be attracted to more than anything else. So it's important that the control system maintains the quality of the product. There's also an importance for innovation. The R&D section, the research and development section, should be inspired to constantly try to innovate the product so as to remain ahead of the competitors. It's important that the product is seen by the customer as innovative, market leading, and highly desirable. Good quality, but also produced efficiently from the business perspective. And it's important to be responsive to the customers. If the customers are feeding back issues with the product, then they want to feel that the company is working on those issues. The feedback is for a purpose. It's to give the business information about the customer's perception of the product. So the marketing personnel who are aware of what's happening in the marketplace may feed back perhaps recommended changes to the product. And it's important that the business be flexible enough to incorporate those, albeit allowing for all the checks and balances to ensure that the information is accurate and this is what the wider market wants. But nonetheless, the business should be flexible and should be responsive to the customers. If there are issues of returns or customer relations management issues, the business must be seen to be responding to the customer. Now, the steps in designing an effective control system. Well, first of all, set standards and targets. If there are no set standards and targets, there can't be a control system, because no one knows what's being controlled, or what is good or what is bad, what's acceptable or what's not acceptable. So some standards and targets must be set. Then monitor the performance of the system against the targets. Check the actual business against the set targets and standards. And compare the actual performance against the set targets, which is logical. So the business has been monitored against the targets. Now compare the actual performance against the set targets. And determine any discrepancy between performance and the set targets, and take remedial action if it's required. So fix any problem if it's detected. Now, the levels of organizational control. Well, the top level of management sets strategic targets and reviews revisions and feedback from other layers of management. So it's top level management who sets the strategic targets of the business, and who also look at the feedback and revisions from other layers of management in setting those targets. They don't just do it on their own, they consult. The corporate level management defines targets and draws up operational plans. So the corporate level management defines the targets, what should be aimed at, and draws up the operational plans, who should do what within the organization. Divisional level management further refine the plans and match the resources, the available resources, with the plans. The available resources must match the plans. If the resources are not there, then the plans can't be enabled. And functional level management organizes resources in accordance with the plan. So the functional level management, the management that's close to the production end, they must ensure that the resources are there to enable the production to take place. The first level management, the line management, implement the plan. So there is a cascading level of responsibility to ensure that the movement from the strategic targets all the way to implementation, that there is managerial responsibility all the way. Now, the types of strategic control system, well, face-to-face, personal control face-to-face, that's a common practice. Managers meet, and different tiers of management meet and discuss issues face-to-face. It's probably the most basic form of meeting, and yet still the most important. There's also output control. Performance goals for each division, department and employee. So the output control can be judged. The whole division could have an output target, the department could have a target, and even an employee may have some targets set on an individual basis. So that there are operating budgets, and there's a process of standardization. The employees may fall into categories, so there's an element of standardization, and there are operating budgets in place to achieve each level of the task that's been set. There are also behavioral controls, rules and procedures to direct the actions or behaviors of divisions, functions and individuals. How should the divisions or the functions or the individuals, how should they behave under certain circumstances? How does the behavior change depending on whereabouts within the organization the employee is situated? So an employee within research and development may have somewhat more freedom on a day-to-day basis than, let's say, someone who is involved in a more routinized type of activity. So we've got different control systems: the personal control system, the output control system, and we've also got behavioral control, which simply sets down a set of rules and procedures to be followed. Work will be from this time to this time, there will be a break at lunchtime at this time, and so on and so on. So there are different control mechanisms in play. And these are the procedures that may be followed in trying to successfully implement a strategy. That's all I'm going to do on this, so let's leave it there for the moment. Thank you for watching.